had made an agreement with Ms. Warren that she would be able to leave after an hour of testimony. They changed the time several times on her, calling her late at night, as a matter of fact, to change the time the night before. And they did not want to adhere to their agreement. And I thought that Mr. McHenry, Chairman McHenry, was rude, and I thought his comments were inappropriate. And basically, he called her a liar. And to be very frank with you, as I tell my committee, we're better than that. And the other thing, though, that concerned me about that incident is that it distracts us from the reason why we even have this Financial Protection Bureau for our constituents. Keep in mind that we are going through and have experienced one of the worst financial crises in our country's history. And we've got a lot of people, particularly I see them every day in my district, who lost a lot. They're paying phenomenal amounts of money and all kinds of credit card fees and what have you.
Right.
And so what we wanted to do was make sure we had a bureau that was up and running. It has passed the Congress last session. It was a part of Dodd-Frank. And now we need to go be on with it. And the other thing, too, is I believe with all my heart that Ms. Warren is doing an excellent job. She has phenomenal credibility, and I refuse to let witnesses come in to our committee and be beaten up on. I'm just not going to have it.
Congressman, if I might ask, Republicans have voiced concerns that the new Bureau would have, in effect, unlimited powers. If the Consumer Protection Bureau is the watchdog, who watches it?
Well, the fact is that they've got all kinds of, keep in mind, this is one of the few agencies on that level which can, where others can basically veto what they've done. And, you know, they'll always be, from time to time, coming before Congress, as you could see yesterday. We have a lot to say. We're very concerned about them. But, you know, there are two sides to this. We need somebody making sure that folks are doing the right things. Our consumers are spending a lot of money. They're losing a lot of money. And the financial crisis that we went through was because we had a fractured kind of system where we had watchdogs in various places, but not a coordinated effort. Now we'll have that. And I think that's very important. The banks are making their money. They're doing fine. Yeah. But the folks in my district are still suffering, as are our constituents all over the country. Yeah. So we're going to be, it's important. It's going to be fine. We need to have a little faith. We need to have a little confidence.
Congressman, you have made the foreclosure issue a top priority of yours. Back in February, you wrote to 10 mortgage companies asking for information about their foreclosure practices. What's the response been like?
Well, we've gotten responses from some of them, and others have said basically, and then we've gotten hardly any response from a few, and so basically what we've said to Chairman Issa is those who fail to respond, we want him to issue subpoenas. In the past, he has not been reluctant to issue subpoenas when he thought they were appropriate, and we think that we've got an investigation going on here. These are banks that have admitted that they have done some things that were improper, and in my mind, in some instances, illegal. And we've got one of the worst foreclosure situations that we've experienced in our country. Just in the city of Baltimore alone, we've got some 11,000 folks that have lost their houses. Across the nation, 6 million that have lost their homes, and then 3 million that are going to lose them this year. So, again, we want, since these are banks and servicers that have already admitted that they did things like robo-signing and signing false documents and playing games with people's lives, telling them they had a modification and then foreclosing them on them the next day, it's about time that they come and answer to the Congress, and that's all we want them to do.
Well, Congressman, you haven't always seen eye to eye with Chairman Issa on the issue of subpoenas. Do you expect him to accept your request?
I would certainly hope so. Again, when he has asked for subpoenas, we've sat down and talked about them. Most of them I had concerns with, but he has always said that he was doing what he had to do. And one of the things that he makes a big deal of is that when he cannot get the information that he wants, he believes that the subpoena is the appropriate way. You just said, and I'm glad you mentioned it, that we sent our letters out in February. We still have not gotten the appropriate responses. As a matter of fact, MetLife said to us, the only way we're going to give you the documents that you requested is that you issue a subpoena. So I think basically these banks have set themselves up and basically are given us no choice. When Chairman Issa has issued subpoenas in the past, he's basically said, I have no choice. And again, this is one of the things that is hurting our economy tremendously. We've got to address it. The banks have been bailed out. They're doing fine, as you well know.
Yes.
But our consumers and our folks who their most important investment, their house, they're losing them. But there's something else that's happening that a lot of people don't think about. Communities are disintegrating right in front of our eyes. Why? Because their property values are going down. And once you have one house on a block that is subject to foreclosure, the value of the other houses go down. And so,
Congressman,
this is serious business.
Congressman, in our last minute, I wanted to ask you about the debt ceiling specifically and some comments that were made yesterday by former President Clinton. Politico quotes him as saying, if we defaulted on the debt once for a couple of days, it might not be calamitous. And he added that trouble would come only, again quoting, if people thought we weren't going to pay our bills anymore and they would stop buying our debt. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on that.
I think I've listened to the experts, even the most conservative experts, and they've said that the debt ceiling and expanding it is very, very important. And we've got to do it. With regard to
but Congressman, excuse me.
He's entitled to his opinion.
But, sir, excuse me, as you well know, even when Barack Obama was in the Senate, he voted against raising the debt ceiling when George W. Bush was in office.
Sure. Well, what I'm saying to you is this is Elijah Cummings, and this is today. I've listened to the experts, the very conservative experts, and all you got to do is make a call up to Wall Street. They're nervous to death with regard to this debt ceiling vote. They want the debt ceiling extended. So, again, if anybody tells me, if experts tell me that we could face a catastrophic situation if the debt ceiling is not raised, then I have to be concerned about that. It's bigger than President Clinton. It's bigger than President Obama.
Right.
It's about making sure that we pay our debts and that our creditors feel comfortable with that.
Elijah Cummings of Maryland. He is the Democrat and the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. Sir, thank you so much for your time today. We know it's been a busy day. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I enjoyed being with you.
Thank you, sir.